Welcome back, everybody, to the MLE Season 11, Week number 11, brought to you by APM Music. Your content turned up. Got it right that time. Novanta, man, are you ready to watch the Foxes versus the Sabres again?
We have ourselves that nightcap Master League action between the Sabres and Foxes.
Wait.
I'm excited to be here, being joined by the legend himself, Proba.
The Free Sleeky event has raised all of the points they needed, by the way.
Breaking news!
It just happened.
Free Sleek? I don't know what that means. What happens?
Hashtag Free Sleek, nobody knows, except for Sleeky. I don't know. Apparently, Jay knows
funfetti
too.
involved? I love funfetti.
I have no idea what that means, but I just saw it pop up on my feed that the hashtag Free Sleek Challenge event has finished. 500,000 points has been raised by the community for this event. Who knows what it is? Maybe Sleeky will say something later. I don't know. That's crazy, though.
Cool.
Anyway, we have some Master League action. Sabres versus the Foxes for you guys coming up. We just had Sabres versus Foxes on earlier with the Champs League, and now we're in Masters League, which is, what did I say, 1,400 to 1,500 or 15 to 17?
Correct. It's the last cap league before you get into Premier League, where it's uncapped. Now, if the Sabres now, the Champion League boys didn't get it done. Now it's your chance to bring home some pride to your organization. Will they do it here at Utopia Coliseum, Broba? Only time will tell.
Well, I think the best way to tell is to get these guys on the field and get them ready to go for this 5-game series. Well, series. It's just 5 games. Then series sort of win. It's okay. It's great. I love it. 5 games. It means you get all 5 games no matter what. Plenty of Rocket League to come up here in this Masters League, and I'm expecting to see even crazier play. Now, Foxes trounced Sabres pretty handily. Do you think that the storyline is going to repeat themselves in this league right now?
Well, right now, if I'm in the Foxes Discord, I'm probably high-fiving each other, being like, oh my goodness, I can't believe we got some wins in this series. Now it's time for the Sabres to retaliate. Will they do it? We don't know. And I really think if I'm the Sabres, I'm going to try to be more aggressive. I'm going to try to get on the ball more. That way we can at least split the series today on the stream.
And apparently we had some technical difficulties, so we're just going to talk about the Foxes a little bit. Let's take a look at some of their stats, Novanta. We were kind of talking a little bit earlier about some of the other champions level Fox and Sabre matchups here. Okay, never mind, they're already in.
Okay, whatever it is, I agree with you. You're right, bro. Sure is.
So who do you think is going to come out on top? Do you think it's Foxes or Sabres? Did you answer that question?
On paper, the Sabres are the stronger team, but they were in the last series too. But I do think there might be a different story. They may split the series with both of them. I get the Sabres and win the series this time.
All right. Well, hopefully the chat agrees with you. We'll have to see what goes on here in this 5-game series. The Foxes now have Dravico and Sergeant McFifty-Cal out on the field. A1 Andy and Demonic Wolf sitting in for the Sabres in Game 1. Andy now going for the challenge. Does get the demo here, and Javaco going to try and get the clear pass. Demonic, he does get the touch for Znip, and Andy on defense will be able to get the touch cleared away. Sergeant, though, might have the shot. Demonic Wolf getting back in time to go save that one out, but the Foxes continue to put that pressure on the Sabres defense, and that's going to be a breakaway attempt. No! Sergeant McFifty-Cal just a little bit too off on his jump. He throws it across instead of towards the net. A little bit getting ahead of himself there. First minute of gameplay, scoreless.
We're seeing a lot more of a faster game compared to their Champion League brethren. Both teams are on the attack. There's always that filling out period in the first minute to see what plays are, to see what strategies are. But I like the fact, much like the last series in Game 1, both the Sabres and the Foxes seem to be pretty even when it comes to their strategies today.
Sergeant McFifty-Cal going to get that clear. Demonic pops it high. Can he get the catch? He's going to try. Possibly to pass out as well. Andy, though, a little bit too far away from that. It was kind of closer to net than closer to Andy, so I can kind of understand why he didn't bother to go. Chances are he wasn't going to get that one. He's going to be a little bit too slow coming in, but they now are back on defense. This Foxes team as well seems very good about putting the pressure on, though I will say it's a lot more, I think, back and forth than the Champions League series, which I think is what we were kind of expecting, which is good. It means they're following the trend that, Novanta sees in his mind's eye, that man.
Hey, look, when it comes to Rocket League, we always like to compare it to soccer, but I've said it time and time before, it's a lot like boxing, where we're seeing now a little bit of footwork, a little bit of jockeying position, but we're going to see what strategies are maintained and which one changes as soon as somebody scores or as soon as someone gets to be in the driver's seat defensively or offensively.
Off the corner now. No one's going to be there for that shot, but Sargent does keep possession. Ooh, not what he wanted to do. He wanted to take it to that wall, but unfortunately his teammate was flipping back as well. I hate when that happens. You're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and then you're just like, I didn't mean to touch that ball. And then it kind of messes up your play. You have to force yourself to go back onto defense, but they're doing well right now to work together to clear this out. Dravaco now has an opportunity to get it past the defense. Sergeant McFifty Cal waiting outside the box is going to be up, but the shot attempt going to be a little bit off on that one. Still scoreless, though, which I kind of was expecting somebody to score at this point. But I think maybe game one for these guys is going to be feeling each other out, trying to figure out what strategies they need to employ on the field. I think that's kind of showing right now in how there's no goals scored just yet.
Yeah, that says a lot more about the Foxes in this situation than the Sabres. The Sabres are on paper the stronger team, and they have the stronger tandem on the pitch today. But the fact they've been held to the same amount of goals as their opponent maybe says a lot about their scrappy underdog opponents here. The Foxes are ranked 17th out of 32nd in the Master League, but you couldn't tell by the way they're playing right now.
I just wanted to check the stats sort of about what we have in the field, and Sergeant McFifty Cal and Dravaco are both higher level as far as, you know, their salary for their team goes, as opposed to A1 Andy and Demonic Wolf. So that's, I don't know if maybe that's just balancing them out, the fact that, you know, the Sabres on paper look better, but the Foxes have their strong roster out here to try and counteract that. I think that could contribute a little bit as well. Just so much back and forth. I want someone to score. I mean, I want to see overtime, but I want someone to score first, and then we can go to overtime. So please.
It's a fantastic theory, man, but in my opinion, it doesn't matter. Forget my opinion. The Foxes are up 1-0. Look at this right here. Prismic digging nothing out of something out of nothing, excuse me. Sergeant McFifty Cal with a goal in the bottom 90. Stretch the defense. They're up 1-0 with only 64 seconds to go in game one.
Yeah, that was just solid play, and they heard you talking about them. They knew something was going to happen, so Sargent had to go ahead and score real quick, man.
I'm not a hater, I promise.
There's 55 seconds left. Sabres trying to make something happen in the offensive half. It's going to get taken away by Dravaco. Sargent coming into that corner for the shot, and he will get it right in the middle of the goal. That's two.
And the Foxes are like, you want some goals? Here's your goals, yeah. And where Andy tried to do with Clay, didn't go all the way, but Fox was there. Sergeant McFifty Cal was there for the shot. Back in that same corner he loved so much, the bottom left 90, 2-0 Foxes.
That was an interesting accent you had there, Novanta.
I'm from Brooklyn.
You're from Brooklyn. That would make a lot of sense then.
Born and raised.
Hey, man. All right, Demonic Wool now trying to move something down the field. Possibly has one left. Ooh, doesn't get it around, but Andy is going to be there trying to scoop it around. Defense is just too strong from the Foxes. Kind of similar to what we saw in the last series of games. The Foxes have that 2-goal lead, and they're ready to maintain it. It's not quite 3 like it was at the end of the last match, but hey, you know what? They are in the lead. They have it down, but of course, there we go. I was honestly trying to force the Sabres with my curse. I was pushing to get them to score, and they finally did.
I like how there is no goal scored, and now we get the hit parade at the last minute of the game. 2-1. Can the Sabres do just one more? All you need is one more that's forced in overtime. Time is not against their side. Will they do it?
Well, you know, the Foxes broke the armistice. They had agreed no scoring goals at all in the first match until we get to overtime, and the Foxes are like, ha, gotcha, and Sergeant McFifty Cal put 2 away. So, you know, the Foxes just kind of ruined it there. But, you know, the Sabres have been pushed back a little bit here, and they're trying to get some momentum, I think. And I think maybe going into that next game, because the Foxes obviously have this one in the bag, going to the next game, we might see a little bit more of the Sabres getting some momentum going. They finally got that goal scored. They had some pressure on. And honestly, the stats are not too far off of each other, though I will say that Sargent has some very, very high ping for just a second there. Hopefully that hasn't been happening all game.
Before I even say what happened in game one, I want to say armistice is a dope SAT word, but you're right. The Foxes had 7 shots on goal, and their work reaped rewards. They're up 2-1 in a very late striking game, but one that was still entertaining to say the least. They lead the series 1-0. And Broba, I don't know, maybe my prediction for the Sabres are wrong. I hope it's not the case, but I still do think the Sabres have an opportunity here, because the Foxes, even though they're up, even though they won this game, look pretty porous on defense. If the Sabres find a way to make some space work out for them, this could be an even serious lickety split.
I think that since now they're done with game one, the Foxes have scored a few, the Sabres are like, all right, I see how you play. You scored 2 on us, but we got one at the end. If we had a little bit more time, we probably could have got a second one. Probably could have tied it up. They just only had 17 seconds after that last goal to make something happen, and that's hard to do when you have a team that's been even with you time and again up here until that last goal. So I think Game 2 is going to see the Sabres put a little bit more pressure on. I want to see it in that passing play. Oh, no, it's just too high. Andy trying to put it back, but no, not yet. I thought I was about to be fulfilled right there on that goal.
Well, you said it set. You already got some pressure happening 20 seconds into game 2 with 2 shots on goal against the Foxes. Yeah, they cleared them out just now, but if I'm the Foxes right now, I have to ask myself, what did we do wrong to leave ourselves open to 2 shots on goal so early in the game?
Andy coming up high for this, dropping it down to Demonic again, looking for this push, but it's going to get cleared across by Sargent, who's going to look for the follow-up here down to maybe Dravaco, but no, he's going to push it forward. And Andy will throw it back to a waiting Dravaco on defense here.
Ooh.
And yeah, just the defensive Sabres not set, and that's one on the board for Fox again.
There is punishment, and then there is discipline. Dravaco beats both the members of the Sabres and taps it in to say, you can't let this happen. Not at this level, not this late in the season. And the Foxes, are up.
First minute of gameplay, not gone just yet. Still have 4:08 on the clock, but the Sabres are not out of this yet. There's still so much time for them to come around. Andy trying to get himself set. Interesting little turn. And hey, you know what? He was building it up just like Sonic. When you see his little legs move, that's exactly what happened here.
What? Tit for tat, tap for tap. We're level once again with the minute elapsed. And shout out to Tails, man. He's my favorite Sonic character.
It's just funny because Andy's sitting there with the ball at the midfield line. He spins around in a circle real quick and then just and just goes for it. That's the first thing I thought of was Sonic just winding up, getting ready to go. Beautiful attempt.
I love that movie, by the way.
I haven't seen the new one yet. I have to see it. Oh, shot attempt from McFifty Cal, going to get taken away by Demonic. The demo's coming out, but Dravaco's going to be there to put one in, and that's 2 on for the Foxes.
So when you do your scrims and your training sessions, these are kind of the goals you practice all the time. Coming off the corner, making some magic out of nothing, and the Foxes made it to the benefit, 2-1. And I do think they're in the driver's seat in this game.
Yeah, Foxes, no matter what, seem to just be able to control the pace of the match very, very handily, and they're doing it right now. Dravaco throwing it up to 50 cal again, but it will get intercepted by Demonic, who does get a second touch on the way down to push his way, but Dravaco puts a shot on, and that's 3.
This was an opportunity where we all saw what was going to happen in slow motion. Dravaco with an awesome poke. It was going in anyway, but Sergeant 50 cal is there for the insurance policy. Didn't need it. The Foxes are up 3-1.
Man, the Sabres just struggling right now. Just again, like last series, just seems like they can't really get hardly anything going. They had a really good attempt, Andy finally getting that goal on the board, but they just seem to constantly just get into these situations. That shot right earlier, that third goal from the Foxes, just a nice little taking advantage of the fact that nobody's back. They got it up over top of the defenders to put it away. And I just realized we just passed 3 minutes, and there's already 4 goals scored. This is insane. Yeah, this is insanity.
A different story from the game 1, but the results looking like the same. If I am my fellow caster Fallen, if I am my fellow caster Thunderballs, I'm probably smiling right now because not only are the Foxes winning, they are commanding both sides of the pitch in a way that's absolutely clinical.
Yeah, they're just putting on textbook plays, taking advantage of what they can get here. That was almost an attempt by Demonic. He tried to throw it off, possibly off the back wall to his teammate, but he just couldn't quite get the momentum he needed. I thought maybe he was going to get a breakaway goal, but he couldn't catch up to it. It was just that much faster than his car going supersonic, and by the time he caught up to it, it was already on the wall, and that passing attempt got away from him there. Almost another attempt here by the Foxes, but Andy going to get back in time to push it away. Sargent now off the back wall, has Dravaco waiting at midfield. He's already up for that, but it's going to get cleared away. Now there's an open opportunity for the Sabres. Andy has an open goal, and that's going to be some more points for the Sabres.
What's interesting to me that I actually had my hand in my heart there. It was almost a little bit of a tie for that goal setup. I'm not sure if it was nerves or what have you, but the result's the same. The Sabres get on the board, but I'm starting to wonder if they're slipping out of the mental state of the game here. The Sabres are within 1. The game is not lost yet. Get more aggressive and get more goals on the board.
Sargent trying to do just that. He's going to throw it high. He's going to throw it long and wide, but not going to be able to connect with that one as Dravaco gets taken out here. Demonic had that challenge in the corner to Sargent. Now Andy going to pick this up. Dravaco is back now, gets demoed again. That's going to leave only Sargent on defense here, but nothing to worry about, as that was not quite as aggressive as I think the Sabres wanted. They wanted to get that demo and push it towards the net, but they just couldn't quite connect with it. But, of course, as I say that, they managed to get something going, and that's 3. Now we have a tie game.
Hey, look, the goals the Sabres made weren't exactly the most spectacular, but a goal is a goal. Less than 9 seconds ago, and now it's level. If you're the Foxes, you let these team that you had your foot on their neck come back. Will this be a mistake? Will this cost you this game because you got too complacent? Only time will tell, Brova.
Yeah, and I'd credit to that 50-50. They went straight up and just baited that last guy out on defense and just left an open net for the Sabres. They're taking advantage of those, which is what they need to do when they get in those situations. Make sure you're set up so you can take the shot on the open net and to score it. Sabres doing very well. Ooh, that shot attempt. I think Demonic probably wishes he had that one back. Just a little bit too far away from that when he jumped. And now they're still down to the Foxes' end, though, with the minute warning coming out. Sargent trying to get this away, but it only pops it up high for Demonic to take it off the backboard. Andy not going to come up for that one. He thought about it, but he decided, no, I think I should probably go back, and that's probably good because he was right there to stop that push from the Foxes and keep them from breaking this tie.
It takes a certain kind of person and the wherewithal to cancel an attack like that. I always poo-pooed in hesitation, but that was a smart move to cancel that goal because you could have opened yourself up to a counterattack, so smart play there.
Demonic off his own back. We're going to cross it possibly over to Andy. No, he's going to actually lose it out to the Foxes, and Andy's going to demo out 50 cal, which is good, breaking up some of that pressure. That could have been a dangerous situation had he not done that. Would have put him out of position and maybe given Sargent an opportunity for a shot, but time is ticking down. The Foxes are still in the aggressive half. They need to try and score this one before time runs down, and we're going to be seeing some overtime here. The demo really going to help ensure that we see some overtime. Sargent has the shot. No, he's going to get taken down, and that's overtime. Game number 2.
If this is your first time watching Rocket League or even MLE, overtime goes by golden goal rule, sudden death. First team to score a goal will win the game, and a game in this series as well. And I gotta say, the longer this period goes on, the more it benefits the Foxes. So if I'm the Sabres, you gotta get in and get out as soon as you can.
Sargent trying to make that golden goal happen, but Andy can intercept him very, very early. Not going to let him get that flick. Now he's passing out to Demonic. Dravaco going to go for the intercept there. He has only Demonic left to deal with, but I don't think he's going to have enough time to grab that boost and take possession, though he does pop it high for Sargent, who will go for that shot, and that's going to be upper 90 and in.
Talk about a punishment. Demonic will went wide. It got blocked by Dravaco. Sergeant 50 cal goes and floats over like a ballerina in the sky. The Foxes win this one in OT.
I honestly wasn't sure if that was actually going to happen, but that was a really nice pop-up by Sergeant McFifty Cal, or excuse me, by not Sergeant, by Dravaco for Sergeant McFifty Cal to score that win. And I thought he was losing it, but no, he had it perfectly read, popped it up, and Sergeant just came in like a bullet and put that one away. The Foxes win once again. Very similar series to what we saw in the last game. Foxes win the first 2. Does that mean Sabres going to win game 3? If it does happen that way, that's going to be some kind of weird voodoo stuff, and I don't know if I want to cast the rest of these matches.
I can't understate the work that Sergeant 50 Cal did in the air to make sure it connected. That should be play of the week worthy because that requires a bit more concentration than the average player can happen, and that put the Foxes ahead. I'm not sure what they get paid with our salaries over at MLE, but if I'm in the Foxes Discord, he definitely earned himself an emote.
Yeah, I think that he did very, very well, especially in that overtime situation, to have that car control to come up and put that one away in the golden goal situation. Very, very nice for the Foxes on the field. Now, you just got to do it, 3 more times? And they'll take the whole series. But I think the Sabres, I know I said it last game, but I think now the Sabres have figured it out. They came back and tied it up, forcing that overtime to happen. Sabres, don't prove me wrong, man. I don't want to look like a dummy for a second game in a row. I want you guys to come back and get this one.
I gotta say, if you're the Sabres, what you have to do is make sure your clears are more precise. Try to find open areas of the pitch to direct your deflections off of. Because a lot of things were happening on the counterattack or the second touch for the Foxes, and they will punish you every time. So just be more mindful of how you clear the ball, and you may have more opportunities to score.
Well, the Sabres are going to get that first goal, playing around the defense, getting it in within the first 12 seconds.
You can call me Nostradamus. Look at that. You have Andy ready, and able to make that shot happen. Bottom right 90, the far side, and the Sabres are up in game 3.
That's what I want to see from the Sabres here. The Foxes, though, are probably going to have an answer at some point. You know that they will. They've got something brewing in their back pocket. I almost said black cauldron, but I didn't want to. It's not Halloween anymore, so I can't really make those connections. So back pocket, we'll go with back pocket. I think that they're probably going to get some points on the board. I don't think we've had a game so far with the Foxes that has gone with them not scoring any goals. Even when they lost against the Sabres, they had a couple points on the board. But that is another good start for the Sabres, putting another one in 2-0.
So these are kind of the goals that puts you ahead, but it's a statement goal. You tell the other team, yes, we have our feet on the ropes. We're kind of struggling right now, but we're not out of it yet. Do not sleep on us. We're going to poke holes in your defense to make this happen.
Still plenty of time left. Ooh, the Foxes might have a shot here, but no, Demonic Wolf going to save that away. Andy just needs to kind of slow down a bit here. Make sure he gets it out to Demonic because they have an open net, and that's exactly what they did. That's 3.
3 goals in 45 seconds. This is what almost in that game breaker mode. If you're the Foxes, you can't let this happen because this may be out of reach the way the Sabres are going. Excellent connection right in front of goal, and that was easy peasy for the Orange team.
Oh, man. Right now, the Sabres kind of running away with it. Obviously, there's still pretty much the entirety of the game left to go, but still, that's really looking good for the Sabres. Now they got to hold on to that, but the Foxes, like I said, they're not going to go scoreless. They will throw one in, and that's 1 for them.
Yeah, you know, when the mice away, or the cats away, the mice do play. Well, the Sabres got 3 goals on the board. The Foxes got 1 back. And if I'm the Sabres now, you got to score quickly now to make the Foxes realize that that 1 goal was a fluke. If you don't, you leave that door open, it could be all Foxes once again.
Well, there might be an opportunity here for Travaco. You know what? We can't even talk, man. They're just scoring back and forth.
Yeah, somebody woke up the Foxes. Travaco comes from wherever. He's like in the parking lot, actually, with a shot that puts him within 1. And look, only 1 minute has elapsed there, bro. Only 1.
I just can't even believe how many goals we've had scored so far in this first minute. Like, that's just insane. It's 3-2 right now. The Foxes looking for the comeback already. The Sabres not ready for the jelly right now. I don't know what's happening on the field, but the Foxes. Okay, you know what? All right, Andy, I see you. I see you.
You know what? Shout out to all those Destiny Child references because he says, pay my bills with his goal right here. Andy got bumped and still recovered in time to do a goal. And that space, that insurance will put the Sabres in a nice sound mind, but they're not out of the woods yet.
Oh, man, 3:40 still left in this match. I feel like we've been watching the same game forever just because there's constant goals. The time can barely tick down from how aggressive both of these teams are on the field. That's Travaco with another attempt at a shot. Going to get saved away, but he's still got an open net, and that's going to be the Foxes putting some more on the board. I saw that coming from a mile away. As soon as he crossed it back, it was obvious.
Well, you call punishment, again, we call that discipline. Be able to punish your opponent consistently is what separates these teams in this league where every game counts, and the Foxes have found the way to capitalize on the Sabres' mistakes time and time again.
Oh, boy, the Foxes, man. Are they going to... All right.
What did I say? What did I say for the Sabres? You gotta strike fast because the Foxes, when they get punched in the nose, they know how to recover. That separates teams in the bottom of the charts and the ones on the top. And just like that, being up by 3 goals, we have a tied game with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
This is just insanity. The amount of goals, 8 goals. We're not even past 3 minutes on the clock. Like, I don't understand why there's so many goals being scored right now. These guys are insane. Are the Foxes going to get a 5th one? No. Sargent going to get smacked away by the defense. I think that was Andy who actually came up and pushed him away. They did not want that 5th goal to go in. Now Andy trying to do something on the offensive end of the field. Demonic has the shot in, and it is. That's 5-4.
Thread the needle like magic in its prime, y'all. You have this nice clear, but it wasn't enough. And he gets a fade in there. Demonic is up there for the goal. 5 for the Sabres. Now, if you're the Sabres, you got to do a double tap. You need a second goal to put some space between you and the Foxes because we can see they are fantastic purveyors of tit for tat.
This is just crazy. And you know what? As much as it's insane that there's 9 goals on the board right now, this is great because it's making it incredibly competitive. You don't know who's going to score the next one, and if it's constant back and forth like this until the end of the match, it's going to be whoever is able to get that one before the very, very end of the match. You'll love to see it. It's very competitive. It keeps you on the edge of your seat because you never know who's going to be the next one to score. And right now, it's got to be someone from the Foxes to tie it up here. Otherwise, the Sabres can just kind of sit on it right now and make sure that they stay away from the dangerous parts of their net. They don't want to give the Foxes any more opportunities because they've had so many, and the Foxes have come back very, very quickly to get those ties. It might happen again here. Depends on what Sargent does here, and there it is.
Sargent's feeling himself right now with a dope dribble goal. This is what I'm talking about. Both Sabres on the right, they almost double commit on the clear, and they both miss. Critical. That is something that shouldn't happen at their level, and Sargent's there. Look, I understand the Foxes are hanging back. They're doing the punishment game. It's fantastic to watch. But if I'm the Foxes now, be more aggressive, get some goals on your own so you can put some distance between you and the Sabres because you're on fire right now.
I appreciated the fact that when Sargent grabbed that and when he was even coming up, he basically just acted like the other 3 players on the field weren't there. He just casually drives like, oh, look, a ball. It just puts it on top of his car, just drives it straight into net. Like, that's just, he just didn't even care that everybody else was there, didn't try to do anything too crazy, just drove, caught the ball, drove it in. That's just textbook dribbling plays coming out from the Foxes. 5-5.
He's asking what Sonic the Hedgehog would do, and that's probably what he said.
That's exactly it. Oh my gosh, 10 goals on the scoreboard right now, 5 for each team, making it a whitewash right now with 1:20 left to go. The Foxes trying to go on the attack. Sargent has Andy to deal with. He's going to bait it out. Oh, I thought Dravaka was going to have that shot, but Andy managing to get in the way. Is the Fox team going to be back in time for defense? And they will manage to get the touch to push it away as the final minute of gameplay is coming down. Man, Novanta, what do you think is going to happen? Is it going to be Fox? Is it going to be Sabres? Who do you think is going to score this next one?
Man, the way it's been going right now, the Sabres are making those mental errors. The Fox are just lying and waiting, probably true to their name and being cunning, waiting to punish those attacks. If I'm the Sabres now, I will go with small ball. Don't try to boom it like that. Don't try to look for your partner downfield like that, because when you miss, when you whiff, that opens up way open road for the Foxes where they will always capitalize on.
Well, right now the Fox are trying to make some moves downfield, but it will get taken away by Andy. Unfortunately, Demonic doesn't have that shot, and he will get demoed for sitting there too long waiting for that. Sargent doesn't have enough speed to get there before Andy's going to come back from being dead. And now they have an opportunity again for the Sabres, maybe to do something, but he's going to whiff on that and give it over to the Foxes offense. Once more time ticking down. This is the final push here before we get to some overtime. Andy's going to be there, but it's going to be a little bit too wide. Almost getting that shot in. Demonic now picking it up. Maybe looking for a last-minute flick, but it will get cleared all the way downfield. As soon as it hits, we're going to have some overtime.
Oh, yeah, I love overtime where everyone's high edge of the seat action. Sabres, Foxes, who do you got there, Broba?
Man, I think it's going to be the Foxes only because they've just been doing some crazy, nutty stuff. And you know what? Just overtime in general is just fascinating. The fact that these guys have to have so much pressure on them, knowing that one goal separates them from winning, and there you go. I was wrong.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, when you're sitting there waiting for your opponent to make a mistake, what you got to do is be creative. And that was one of the goals that I can guarantee you the Sabres did not draw up in practice, but they made it happen on the field. They win this one. That's really good. And you know what? Sabres won game 3. Sabres won game 3 last time. Yeah.
The parallels are weird. Though obviously it wasn't an 11-goal game, but still, that's some weird parallel action coming on from the major or Masters League. Excuse me. Okay, so then that means Fox is going to win next too, right?
Maybe. You can't call this, man. The fact that we went from a virtual stalemate in game 1 to 11 goals scored at this level, I don't think people can understand how difficult it is to split your defensive score when you're at this high MMR. Both teams have nothing to lose and everything to prove. The Foxes are great at making sure they punish the Sabres, but the Sabres got to get them balls on frame if they want to win more games in this series.
I just want to see what's going to happen. Like the Foxes, if they win both the next games, it's going to be parallel with the last one. But I think the Sabres might be able to do this. They had the fact they went toe to toe in last game, getting 6 goals against this Foxes defense. They can pull this off. They've shown that they can score goals. They just need to do it more consistently. I feel like the Foxes have a little bit more consistency than the Sabres. The Sabres, though, when they decide to do it, they can do it. So I think that they might have a good chance here to get this one. That shot going to get saved away by Dravaco here in front of the Foxes net. Sabres trying to put on that early pressure, but the Foxes stand strong in front of their net and try and convert, but it's going to get taken away by Demonic. Will Sargent not going to get the touches he needs to put one on the board for the Foxes. I'm going to predict that the Sabres are going to make a little bit of a mistake here, and the Foxes are going to score first. That's my prediction.
Well, are you covering your bets both sides?
Yes.
The Sabres are making a mistake, but the Foxes are going to score first?
Right there.
Well, you can't be wrong if you say both sides, but a good job for the Foxes there with a shot on with less than a minute to go. Again, going back to the bread and butter, Sergeant Medical using the bottom side of the goal to make sure it's a secure 1-0 Foxes.
So let me make it clear. I think overall the Sabres can win this. But the Foxes are going to capitalize on mistakes, which is exactly what they did. The defense was not quite set for that when they came back after that, and the Foxes are going to put one on. Now, the Sabres can come back. I know that they can. They're going to get some goals on the board here. They just got to watch their mistakes, and I feel like they can take this game, and I feel like they will. Just the Foxes are going to get that first point.
Well, you know what? The first point really puts you in the driver's seat, but we've seen all the time in this series and the previous series that you need more than one goal or even 2 goals to feel even a shred of comfortable as far as being in control. So I like the fact the Sabres are trying to get themselves in attacking, but the Foxes have always had an answer for them. So what I would suggest now, the one space the Foxes aren't covering, well, forget it now because the Foxes just scored 2-0, Broba.
So here's another capitalization on mistake here. Both players from the Sabres went in on that demo, I think. They were both right there. They both kind of were involved in the demo. Nobody was back waiting. That's, again, the Foxes lying in wait, capitalizing on the mistakes. You said it earlier. They're very sneaky. They're very cunning in the field, and that's exactly what just happened now. There's a big answer for the Sabres. That's what they need to put some points on.
So this is what I was going to say for the Sabres. If you want to beat the Foxes right now, you got to use the flanks to your advantage. Well, granted, that was really more the border of the flank and the mid-pitch, but it's a weak side for the Foxes team. Sabres, if I were you, I would go up to both sides, hit behind the defense, and I can guarantee you most of your shots are going to go in that net.
Dravaco going to miss that one coming off the kickoff. Going to leave it for Andy to pick up. Nice flick. Only has Sargent left to deal with. That shot was going to be on, but Sargent realizes this is danger. Going to get there in time to clear it away, though Demonic now bumping at midfield to get away. Sergeant McFifty-Cal just took advantage of him and popped him away. Now it's going to be back down into the Sabres and Demonic waiting patiently, trying to get that one down. There's those booming clears you really said that maybe they shouldn't go for here. They try and play that small ball. I don't know if that was just for last game, but I feel like it's a good thing in general against these Foxes players because they're so good at reversing that. They're on defense. They can reverse it very, very quickly into your net, and if you're not ready for it, they're going to put some points on the board.
You saw right there, the Foxes are struggling with that clear, with that attack right there. I'm telling you, if you're the Sabres now, you have that to your advantage. They are totally weak on the sides. I would use that to my advantage, but maybe you don't need my help because what we saw right there was a challenge on the right side of the net. Not quite the flank, but again, the weak recovery from Dravaco here, the whiff, let it open for Andy, and we're level once again. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go, halftime in this game, and then we're level once more.
Getting just into halftime here in game number 4. Tie game right now. We've had 2 games so far this series that have gone to overtime. Game 1 went to overtime, and then just the last game as well. With kind of back and forth, the Foxes won the first one, Sabres won the second overtime. They could potentially push it here. There's still a lot of time left, though, so obviously I'm not going to call it just yet. But with how these guys have been playing between last game and this one, there's every chance that it could be. There's another goal for the Foxes, but if the Sabres can get that answer to capitalize on those mistakes from the Foxes, we could see it. But, you know, the Foxes aren't going to go down without a fight.
Yeah, this was a goal for the Foxes, but it really wasn't one that's a statement goal, like I was saying. It was one that was cherry-picked, true to their name, true to them making punishing mistakes. But I don't think they feel the same confidence they felt a game ago. So it really is a Sabres game to lose in a mental state here. They have a chance to make things happen for them and turn the tide. Will they have the wherewithal? Will they have the grit to make that happen? I am not so sure, Brova.
Ooh, Dravaco going for another shot. Demonic is going to get that save to push it away. Andy trying to go for that 50, but Sargent is ready for this one. The Foxes, though, still very, very aggressive in the offensive end of the field, and that's another one in, and that's 4 for Fox.
So you have the bit of a challenge by Dravaco, but he had all the time in the world to recover because no one was back on the far side. And again, punishing the mistakes on defense, 4-2 Foxes, 141 to go.
I feel like the Sabres are slowing down a little bit.
Absolutely.
They just don't seem to be able to get the control they need either. And those two things combined are just allowing the Foxes to take those shots. There's been several times with those shots for the Foxes where the Sabres have been pushed out and in an awkward situation, and that's given Foxes that opportunity to score it away. It's just they got to lock it down. They got to keep that pace up and keep the ball close because those Foxes, they're taking advantage of your mistakes. Sabres right now are in the offensive half, but the Foxes so far aren't looking like they're sweating it too much, and there's a big clear to push it away. Demonic is going to try and get around this, possibly to pop it away, and he does manage to get the clear into the corner. He needs this follow-up here for the shot. It's going to be high and wide, though. The minute warning coming out. The Sabres struggling to put some points on. I think Foxes might score a 5th one here. Dravaco going to get it pushed away. So close, though. The Foxes still in the lead 4-2.
To credit of the Sabres, that was 2 important clears for them to stop the bleeding. But you're right. This is definitely a situation, if I'm the Sabres right now, you got outplayed, sure, but there were some things you can do to really bring it home because it really was a beatable side, especially in the later games of the series when it comes to the Foxes. So a frustrating effort here for the Sabres in this game, and I'm surprised the scoreline is not reflecting of the effort that they were putting out, at least in the first half of things.
Dravaco might have another shot attempt, and Demonic just get in there in time to clear that away. Fox is looking for that 5th goal, and as the time is ticking down, the Sabres are going to prove me wrong again and not be able to get this one. But, I mean, they did win one game in the series. The Foxes are going to actually, quote-unquote, take the series. But, you know, we still have one more game left to play. I want to see the Sabres take what they've done. They've seen how they can score. They just need to apply that consistently, and they just haven't been. They slowed down a little bit at the end. Foxes had way too much pressure against them, way too much possession, and it just took it away from them. The Sabres, man, down by 2. Oh, I know they could do it. You can do it, Sabres. I feel it.
Much similar to the Champions League game we saw before, the Sabres are actually have better accuracy when they get shots on goal, but the Foxes are an absolute firing squad. So what you have to do now is stifle the defenses, use the space to fall back when you need to stop counterattacks so that we get the ball back in your possession. Again, this Foxes squad is great. I'm not taking anything away from them, but they are beatable. And the Sabres, the fact that they're taking advantage of that will be the reason why the Foxes win this series. Not because of a lack of trying, not because they don't wish really hard. It's just real tactical things they can do, real adjustments they can do to put themselves ahead.
You are right. The Foxes can be beat. The Sabres have shown that. They've beaten them once in overtime, but they beat them. They went shot for shot with them in Game 3, took it to overtime, shown that they can do what needs to be done to get those points on the board. It's just getting that mentality and sticking with it. It's a long night out. Doing 5 games in a row can be very, very taxing, and you can tell by the end of it that the peak was Game 3. Peak goals from each side, going to 11 goals split between the two teams is insane. And there you go. See, Demonic gonna put one in 3 seconds into this match.
Well, sometimes in these kickoff goals, you can say it's all about geography, but Sergeant 50 Cal, again, coming from that right side, a little bit sluggish on that, and there was enough space for the Sabres to get on the board.
Oh boy, first goal coming away. It's one of those where like there's not much to talk about because it was just a capitalization on the kickoff, but it's at least going to make them feel really good. It's going to give them that really good mental headspace to try and put some more points on. What a flick by Sargent getting that around the defense. No shot just yet though. Sargent baiting out the defender. Wow.
Ooh-wee. Okay, we're going to have ourselves a little Sergeant 50 Cal party. This shot here was goofy to say the least, and even the follow-up missed, but didn't matter. It was on target. And that's the thing about the Foxes. They shoot a little bit random, a little bit kind of wild, but when it goes in, it goes in. You can't make shots if you don't shoot them, and the Foxes are doing it, and the Sabres are not.
What's the saying? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and the Foxes just seem to try and take as many shots as they can because eventually one of them's going to stick, and that one absolutely went in for them. Nice tying game there. Ooh! Oh, he did not get the crossbar love. That was such a hard bounce shot to try and put it away. You got to love that they saw the Demonic Wool is up there, and Andy just throws it fast, and Demonic able to get there to throw that one at the net. Just couldn't quite connect with the back just yet. First minute gone. Tie game. Sabres maybe looking to break the tie, possibly. Nah, it's going to get cleared away. Very, very close. They're still got the pressure on, but the Foxes are able to at least stay out of danger for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, definitely staving off the onslaught from the Foxes, but I love the fact that Sabres are connecting downfield, using the space that they were neglecting in the first couple games. Didn't go their way, but they stick with it. They may actually take away a victory here.
Andy trying to get the pass again to Demonic, but Travaka was there. Is that on target? It is. What a save all the way downtown.
What a save! There we go, Andy with right there with Travaka with a shot, a bomb, a laser, a rocket. You can tell me what it is. Doesn't matter. They're up 2-1 with 3:31 to go.
That's just a perfect save. Just shooting it long ball style all the way down into the net. It's hard. You really can't do anything about that when you're in the offensive end. Those happen occasionally. It's not a lot. It's not all the time. But if you have somebody that can shoot and put it on target, it's something you got to be looking out for when you're on the field. Andy trying to sneak one around Travaka, but it's not going to happen. 50 cal. Going to put a third one in unless the defense can make it back, and there's no way, and that's 3.
It's hard to say body language when talking about cards. Look at the shot. 50 cal goes down, and you had just a shot. Demonic Will was going to chase it, just said, forget it. And that is when you put your head down. That's when you say, sorry, boys, in the comms. And I think that may be the last stand for the Sabres.
3 minutes left to go. Oh, it's a fourth one. You know what? Foxes, man, you got to calm down. I just wanted to say how much time is left and how, I thought that the Sabres had plenty of time, but you're just throwing it out the window.
Any team can break a game, but the Foxes broke the spirit of the Sabres. I can't believe that goal happened so quickly, but at the same time, it's to be expected the way they've been playing.
They didn't just break the spirit of the Sabres. They broke my spirit. I wanted to give some hype to the Sabres, and you just ruined it. You ruined it, Foxes.
You still can. You can hype all you want, man.
Yeah, but now there's 4-1. It's okay. The Sabres still have plenty of time. That's what I want to get out here. And look at that. They got a point on the board. You're welcome, Sabres. I got you that goal. It's me.
Yeah, there's one fan left in the commentary booth. His name is Bro, but a little bit of a cherry pick goal. Hey, a goal's a goal when it comes to something like this. I don't think it's enough, but the fact they may claw back and eat my words is the reason why I'm keep watching.
You know what? I just watched that replay back on Twitch, and that was a very nice touch to just stall it a little bit above the net. I think it was it Demonic that just scored? I didn't see who it was actually scored, but the person who didn't score had a little aerial flip where he just kind of stopped it and slowed it down above the net. That's what you want to see. It was just enough that it dropped straight down for that shot to happen. Sabres, do more of that. Get more of that on. Push downfield, work together, get it. See, look at this pass. Andy's there. I thought it was over the defense. I didn't think Sargent had that one, but he had the read. So close. Do more of that, though. That's exactly it. You get those passes, play around the defense. Eventually, the defense is going to be ready because you're going to be playing with their mind, playing with their perception of the game. You have 2 minutes. Utilize them to their effect. You've already lost the series. Just go for it.
Yeah, they don't do that. I think Broba's going to cancel his season tickets. But it looks like the Foxes series to lose. They're in the driver's seat. They're cruising now.
Sabres trying to make something happen. Andy popping around Dervaco, but Sergeant McFifty Cal going to pick it up off the back. It's off the ceiling as well, but dropping straight down for Dervaco. Demonic trying to put it back toward the Foxes' end of the field. He's not going to have an opportunity, though. Andy tried to keep that alive, but Dervaco managed to pick it up again. Every time they get down here, someone from the Foxes is going to be there in their face to push it away. You know what I'm just thinking about now is that's going to be worse because these guys, we're going to be having 3v3s next season. So you got to think that when you have that third player back, that's going to make it even more difficult for situations like this where the teams are actually pretty close, honestly. The Foxes have been blowing them out, but not necessarily blowing them out, but at least, winning every game almost. But with that third man, it's going to make even more difficult to put that pressure on. In twos, if you can just beat the two players, you got it. Even if you can just beat one, you can kind of play around that third man, but you've just got to push forward, and the Sabres are struggling with that. And Foxes, Oh, never mind. I thought they were going to put a fifth one in. You made me eat my words there, Foxes. It's fine.
You're absolutely right. Minor League Esports is going to expand into threes next season. I can't wait for that. But now more than ever, the philosophies of the organizations and teams will come into play. How will the Foxes put their cunning play into threes? How will the Sabres put their grit into threes and twos? Time will tell, but you're absolutely right. It's going to be a brand new pot of pumpkin, as my mom would say.
Brand new pot of pumpkin?
Yeah, she's a country folk. You know how it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever. I've never heard that, but, 10 seconds left. Sabres, man, I love you guys. You know what? God, you got this. 7 seconds, man. Let's go. Get this kickoff goal, and let's go to overtime.
Nothing wrong with one for the road here. Demonic Wolf with a double tap, with a bounce, feeling himself floating into space.
I believe it. I believe in the Sabres. We saw the Foxes get a kickoff goal. Now it's your turn. 6 seconds. Let's go. Andy going to go for the shot here. Sargent in the way, but it's still down in... Never mind.
Yep. Again, don't shoot right down Broad Street. The Foxes are super strong there. Didn't happen. The Foxes win another one here. A fantastic display, a clinic. The Foxes organization should be pretty happy with the efforts here tonight on Minor League Esports.
I was trying to make it super hype. I was like, I'm ready. The Sabres are going to get
this.
No,
you did. You did. It was hype.
But then it just swing and a miss. So
hey,
close.
Man, the air got let out. It happens. It totally happens, man.
I love it, though. I love it. Even though the Sabres lost, it mirrored the last one. I figured it would. Honestly, I don't know why. It just, once they won that third game, I was like, all right, it's gonna be just like the last one. The Fox is going to take the next two. Though, we didn't have a disconnect for lost connection, and we didn't have an almost Brazil. So that's different. That's good.
Oh, that does count. Look, if you're the Sabres now, you have some questions. You're in a favorable position in the league, but you basically got shown up at Utopia Coliseum. What happens now? You got to watch the replays. You got to understand that you did not use the flanks. You did not use the side, and you didn't go nearly to the sky as much as your opposition, and they've made you pay for it. Look, we're heading to the playoffs here in the MLE. There's still some time to fortify your attack. I hope they do, because this squad is way better than what we saw here tonight.
Yeah, it was just the Foxes running away with it. The Sabres put up a really good showing. It's just the Fox was that a little bit better than them. And, on paper, maybe it didn't look that way, but on the field is where it matters, where it counts, and the Foxes proved that, taking that with 4 games going their way. Beautiful, beautiful showing. Hope you guys in the chat were just as excited during all those matches as I was. It's great. It's good stuff. Now, Freeze League has happened. We'll have to see what happens with that, guys. Keep your eyes peeled on the MLE stream and things like that for whatever Sleeky's going to do. But it is time for us to get out of here. No, Vantaman, it's been a pleasure to cast with you, and I hope we get to do it again sometime soon, man. Anything you want to say before we get the heck out of here?
Likewise, if you guys are watching here on MLE Esports GG, make sure you subscribe, because we'll be back here tomorrow with more Minor League Esports action.